And welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Bridge. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Holly Walsh and Hal Cruttenden, Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a round called If This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Holly, which category would you like?
Politics, please.
OK, your category is politics. The answer is 5p. What is the question?
Is it how much does it cost to hire Peter Andre for your wedding?
Is it what is the average house price in Fukushima?
Will be for many years.
Is it what is the famous 5-book called where they all had incontinence?
Is it? Is it?
It takes a while to get that one. It takes a while.
It's a really blunt title, isn't it? 5p.
Is it what is not worth bending over to pick up in prison?
Is it how much money would I have if I had £1 for every time I failed a maths exam?
Is it, after the years of austerity, how much have they actually reduced the national debt by?
Is it what is this week's rollover in the Greek lottery?
Is it just simply how much does your mum charge?
Is it how much you should tip a stripper to really annoy her?
I find any coin at all.
It annoys them even more if you take your credit card and try and slide it.
Is it what was the antique expert's valuation of the small silver disc I found down the back of the sofa?
OK, no, we need to...
I know what it is. I know what it is.
God, go on. What are the chances?
Is it what are a million nectar points worth financially?
How much is a Ryanair flight from Stansted to Dublin, minus the £200 charges?
OK, we need
Genuinely, the answer. I'm with you.
Yeah, go on.
Is it how much the Lib Dems are going to try and charge us for plastic bags?
It's exactly what it is. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. Yes, the question I was looking for was, as announced at the Liberal Democrat conference, how much will supermarkets have to charge customers for a plastic bag after the next general election? This is the news that at his party's conference in Glasgow this week, Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg unveiled plans for supermarkets to charge 5p for a plastic bag from 2015. I'm a bit down on this as a news story because I was under the impression this has already happened, given I'm constantly asked if I want plastic bags.
Yeah, M&S have been charging 5p for a plastic bag since 2007. You're wondering, what other policies are the Lib Dems going to nick off M&S?
M&S, though, they do. It's not fair in M&S, because in M&S Food Hall they charge you 5p, but if you go and buy a pair of pants, the bag for that is free. They just give you a bag. So if you're prepared to buy pants, then go shopping, you get a free bag.
If you walk your stuff out of the food hall and then ring it up at the counter...
If you're prepared to stack salad and pants in the same bag, completely free. It's just a little tip.
Do you think the fact we're sticking on M&S so much, talking about it, does show how middle class this program
there is a tendency.
And we're probably alienating people here. We've got to think about the people who haven't paid for bags. Lidl. I mean, people who... You go shopping at Lidl and you have to pay 5p for a bag. That's doubling the cost of your shop.
Yeah, but Lidl have suddenly, they've moved into the next gear, haven't they? Because, you know, you've got Tesco's Finest, you've got Sainsbury's Be Good to Yourself, and Lidl have now, to compete with that, brought out their new less shit range.
People need plastic bags, though, to pick up dog poo in the park. I mean, there are alternative methods, but you don't want to have to carry a golf club around with you all the time.
I think 5p is a rip-off for a plastic bag. I mean, it costs £1 for a trolley, and I've got loads of them at home.
It certainly does seem a lot of money for something you're just going to use once, but you can say the same about cruise missiles.
The thing is, though, the Lib Dems have got to try something, haven't they? Because their current popularity is 11%, half down from what it was at the last general election. And you think we're still missing a trick, though? I think when anybody asks you in the street who you're going to vote for the next election, I think everybody should say the Lib Dems, right? And then when it comes to the election, nobody should vote for them. And then when Nick Clegg goes, oh, but you promised us, we can all go, yeah, now you know how we feel.
have you been following the conference and what's been said at the conference?
Yeah, I've been following the bits.
Yeah, it's exciting, isn't it?
Right. It's pretty exciting, obviously.
Yeah, you know, they brought Grand Theft Auto out this week. But anyway, let's go back to the Lib Dem. What has the Lib Dem Home Office Minister, Jeremy Brown, said about Romanians and Bulgarians who plan to live in the UK?
He has likened them to people, to expats who go and live in Spain and British people, and then immigrants are not the same as British expats because immigrants eventually learn the language. That's the difference.
Yeah, he has said that them coming over here is the same as people from here going over there, and got them furious because, as we know, there are two types of people: us and foreign.
Yes.
And I'm saying that while I'm foreign. So
I've got a holiday home in Romania and Bulgaria and Turkey. It's a caravan, to be honest.
There is a difference, though, isn't it? Because there's obviously a difference between British
Find the
people who are
difference.
living in Spain
Yeah.
and... Because unlike the Romanians coming to Britain, the Brits who are living in Spain, they're not going there to earn money. They've already earned their money in Britain and they're going over to Spain to try and hide it from the police. Aren't they? It's a very different thing.
yeah, a lot of the comments were like, "How dare they?" Because, as we know, some of these people are criminals who are coming over here, and there's no tradition of that in the Cospedale crime. In other news, what has Andy Murray done to raise Britain's tennis hopes this week?
Oh, he hasn't killed Cliff Richard.
My suspicion is he's been playing tennis.
He's won us the Davis Cup, so as we're now into the... Not the Davis Cup, but he's won the sort of round match, as we're now into the World Group.
Yes, you
it's
are.
the first time we've actually won a match to get us into the World Group since 1986, apparently.
My
when
God.
Andy Murray was only one, and he wasn't, in fact, in the team because he was only ranked number 5 in Britain.
I think it's unfair, though, because he's by far the most successful person in that whole group. Like, if they were the Beatles, it would be John, Ringo, Ringo and Ringo.
I think it's fair. I think if you were to ask Andy Murray, for example, how he feels about the victory, that he would say that the other players also contributed a great deal and he's very proud to be part of that team. We could do that. Andy Murray, how are you? Good to have you back in the audience of Mockery today at this day. Andy, congratulations on this, you know, partial doorway into success. Obviously a team effort, would you agree?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, there we go, right? Yes.
And also, since the last time he was on, he has won Wimbledon, so massive congratulations.
He's won the US Open, Wimbledon and a gold medal.
Yeah.
Basically, he came to this show with nothing.
Yeah.
Sat in that golden chair and has won. It's been spectacular. Congratulations, very well done, sir.
Yeah.
Very, very well.
Can I just say, I can't pass this opportunity up with having, you know, such an incredible person in the
Don't
audience.
ask him out, he is
without asking. Kim, how do you have such incredible hair?
Kim is not mic'd, but Kim will laugh embarrassingly in a way that indicates you do it. Yeah. When is the next round of the Davis Cup? Either? When is the last 16?
January.
It starts in January.
Yeah.
And does it run? Is it one big tournament, or does it run? Is it dotted through the year?
Depends. We could lose the first match and then we don't play again, or we play like every 3 months, basically.
Okay, great.
I think it's good to be positive, don't you?
Yeah.
But we're only going to have him for a few months, because if Scottish independence happens, we're out the Davis Cup, aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't want to bring up something controversial and make him feel uncomfortable, but which way are you going on that, Andy?
Well, the point is, though, that 31% apparently of Scottish people want Scotland to leave the United Kingdom, and apparently the same survey suggests that 41% of English people want Scotland to leave the United Kingdom, which is why, ultimately, I don't think Scotland will go for independence, because they won't want to make that many English people that bloody happy.
Why didn't you come visit us after you won Wimbledon? We had to play footage of you from the last time you were here.
I saw that episode.
Yeah. Do you think we were a little bit desperate?
Did you look at it going, oh, I looked so young then?
Did you look at it and go, hang on, I wasn't there?
Was I? Maybe I was there. Maybe, did I win Wimbledon?
He had a few other things to do. I mean, no British male had won Wimbledon since Fred Perry. Fred Perry, of course, a man who died a few years ago, but has still managed to retain his position as Britain's number 2. So...
Okay.
He's in the room. Please, he has to work with these people.
In other news, have you got GTA 5, by the way? Have you bought it yet?
Have we got what?
Grand Theft Auto, have you bought it yet?
No, but I tell you what, I have bought.
Have you bought a new game?
I have
bought a new game. Have you bought a new game? What did you buy? What did you buy?
I bought Farming Simulator 2013.
I'm sorry, in the week that Grand Theft Auto 5 came out, you bought...
I bought Farming Simulator 2013. Yeah.
And what exciting things can you do in Farming Simulator 2013?
You can plough.
And do you have to steal the plough from another farmer?
It
You're
is
like
the
being a bit of
most
farmer.
laborious, time-consuming, dull, realistic yet addictive game ever. No one is in your tractor. You already own the tractor. You don't have to pull somebody out of it. You get in it, and you have to back it up to whatever tool you have to use, and drive it to the field, and methodically move it up. And then you might find I've been driving for ages and I forgot to lower the plough.
I think it's fascinating that you find it such a tedious game, and yet you're talking about it at such length.
You know, and especially if you think about it, the fact that I would if I'd been ploughing without my plough engaged, that I would then think, oh no, I've wasted the last half an hour, like I wouldn't have done if I'd been ploughing with the plough actually engaged. It's still not a real farm.
Does it have an emotion setting? Can you feel more, sort of get...
You don't want to plough angry. You don't want to plough angry. You're all over the field when you're ploughing angry.
My wife was complaining that it was unrealistic because it goes like 5 times faster than real life. It's like, it was 6 o'clock a second ago, now it's 7 o'clock. I go, well, but honey, come on, there's got to be some excitement. It's got to be a little bit faster than actual reality.
I think the amazing thing about this is you've got a wife.
At the end of that round, the points go to Hal, Holly and Andy. Now we play a round called Unexpected Item in the gagging area. This game involves Hal and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is football. Who wants to come in that? Hal Crooked.
Excellent. Football fans really annoy me, really badly. It's the lack of perspective that gets to me. I heard a Manchester United fan on the radio being interviewed about the retirement of Alex Ferguson at the end of last season. And he honestly said, when I heard that Fergie was going, it was like a death in the family for me. And the presenter went, yeah, mate, I understand. Not, you emotionally retarded twat. England fans, particularly, they bring up the war at football matches. They bring up the war. The last time we played Germany, 3 years ago, England fans turned up in World War II RAF outfits. They sang songs about German bombers, and that stupid band at the side of the pitch played the Great Escape theme tune, and we were thrashed 4-1. It was bloody humiliating. That's not what people fought a war for, is it? There weren't generals on D-Day making speeches to the troops going, gentlemen, today we fight for freedom. We fight for an end to tyranny. We fight for our families and our friends. But most of all, we fight so that one day, fat, drunk English men in football shirts too tight for them can stand in stadiums and sing as one 2 world wars and 1 World Cup. Doo-dah, doo-dah. That's why we fight today, gentlemen. I personally believe that actually male football fans behave the way they do because they use football to express emotions they can't express in other parts of life. That's what's going on. When they are shouting and chanting vile stuff at the ref, at the opposition, at other players, well, what they really want to be chanting is stuff about what's going on in here. They want to be chanting stuff like, I can't express my feelings! I can't express my feelings! Of clinical depression! I need a therapy session! La 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 la, la la la. I feel like crying! Feel like crying! Feel like crying all the time! Ooh, oh, I'm bipolar! That's really...
Thank you very much, Hal Crutchman. Very good. That leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've got, Milton. Let's spin the wheel again. And the topic is school.
Recently, I went to one of those awful school reunions where everyone's boasting about what they're up to now. I said I work for the United Nations, because I have been UN employed for a while. While I was there, a bloke came up to me with a scar on his face. He said, "You don't remember me, do you?" I said, "Are you Action Man?" He said, "No, but I bet if you could go back in time, you'd pay more attention in my history lessons." I said, "If I could go back in time, I wouldn't need your history lessons." And then he stormed off to teach Year 9, which I presume is a tiny part of history. My parents were so rich, to get me through my history exams, I had my own private tutor. I loved reading at school. There's nothing like getting to the end of a good book and thinking to yourself, "Ah, there's Wally." Those forms to fill in to get to university are difficult, though, aren't they? I ended up spending 3 years at the University of East Angola. My grandfather... he broke into a school the other day. He said, "If it wasn't for me, you'd all be speaking German." "That's right," said the German teacher. "It is not fair. I never got to do the job I wanted to do. I wanted to be a farmer. If only there was some way I could do it these days. If only there was some computer game or something." That's all great, thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jones. Points for Milton, points for Hal. Come on back. Now we play a game called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So this is a photograph taken this week of a recent NASA launch in Virginia. However, we can show that small detail there. Something got picked up in the launch. So, teams, what's going on here?
It's Boris Johnson.
It is very, very, very annoying for those French astronauts because their lunch has escaped.
I just look at that and I just hear, "I regret nothing!"
Would you not have lived like this? Would it be a life in vain?
Or is he shouting, is the frog shouting, "Neil Armstrong, this is one giant leap"?
I think it's just that since his breakup with Miss Piggy, there was nothing Kermit wouldn't do to get attention.
It's Photoshop.
It's a genuine...
Oh, you say that.
I'm serious.
I have got frogs in my garden. Every fireworks night, I don't set off a rocket and get... It's jumped higher than the bloody rocket has.
It's not jumped, Andy. Have you not taken... It's been blown into that position by the jets of the... It hasn't gone, bloody hell, a rocket. Wah!
Are you sure?
The frog is annoying.
When you say it's higher than the rocket, it's the angle. It's a lot closer to the camera. It's also it's not that size.
The frog didn't go, "Oh my God, 3, 2, legs, don't fail me now."
The spokesman actually said that it's come from, they have a pool that the water comes from to then send coolant to the engines. He said in a quote, he said, "Where the frog's whereabouts now are uncertain."
I don't know, I'm assuming the frog croaked.
It's saying no one can hear you, Crook.
Yeah, that's right.
He didn't want to get towed into space.
Stop it.
Perhaps he actually came off the rocket because they used the wrong kind of rivets.
I was looking at it just thinking, Heston Blumenthal's recipe for frog's legs, increasingly elaborate.
OK, what finally left the solar system this week?
Was it the sun?
No. Because almost by definition, we would have to have gone with it.
It was a great
This
summer.
said the sun. I just left. I'm off to
Was
a
it
distant...
all hope that the Lib Dems have of a decent performance in the next election?
Pretty much. Anyone else?
It was Voyager, wasn't it?
Voyager.
Voyager 1.
Voyager 1, yes.
Voyager 1.
Voyager 2, the evil twin of Voyager 1. Still remains just slightly behind Voyager 1.
And this was launched 36 years ago, when Bruce Forsyth was in his 70s.
it has got sounds of the 70s on there, and it tells apparently what the world was like in 1977. So if any aliens intercept it, they'll be able to enjoy Gary Glitter without any negative connotations whatsoever.
You know, and when it gets the next sun in 42,000 years,
Yes.
they'll still be repeating this programme on days.
Moving on, what might it be too hot for in Qatar?
Well, this is the World Cup, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
They've said that they shouldn't stage the World Cup there in what year?
2022.
Right, 2022. So the 2022 World Cup should not be staged in Qatar because it's going to get too hot. But you think, is that a bad decision? The IOC are staging the Olympics near Fukushima and that's going to get even hotter there.
I really hope Scotland qualify, because there's a team of gingers running out and just exploding.
I'm not even convinced that by 2022 people are going to be interested in football. I think they're just going to be playing Farming Simulator.
What's going on about Farm Simulator 2013?
It's good. Farming.
Because we must know that other video games are available.
Like Grand Theft Auto 5, for instance.
What's the upgrade from the previous year's Farm Simulator? Like, what's the...
Apparently there are more dedicated servers online for people to play multiplayer Farm Simulator, which people genuinely do. There are people running virtual farms online.
Don't drag
together.
me in! Don't drag me in! I'm in. So in other words, if you come back, if you're driving back to your farm and you see another online player, can you... Hello, John.
Or can you drive a tractor out onto the country road and block everybody on Grand Theft Auto who's trying to get past?
Can I just say, I do honestly think we should move on now, because Ed's got to get up at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Have you played Qatar Farming Simulator? It's incredible, actually. Yeah.
It's really just staring at a load of dust.
What I love about the World Cup being held in Qatar is the first place ever that footballers will go to and be the poorest people there.
He's just waving cash at Wayne Rooney. Look at this, read it and weep.
Well, the Qataris have said, haven't they, that they're going to actually create stadiums that are like fridges. But there's a few problems at the moment, because whenever they shut the door, the old floodlights go on.
Yes, they've only got 3 stadia, and they're mainly used at the moment for stoning gay people. But they're going to build 7 stadia that are fully air-conditioned. Fully air-conditioned, vast football stadia, which kind of puts the whole 5 pence for a plastic bag initiative. If only there was some way that we could find out what it must be like to be a top-class sports person competing in a really hot environment. If only there was someone we could ask. No, it's not. Is it tough? Is it difficult with the heat and the whole thing? I know you get to stop every 3 minutes for a banana and a glass of water. But if you had to carry on for 90 minutes at a time, like whatever, is it awful? Do you sweat buckets? Do you sweat buckets, Andy, out there? Do you sweat buckets? There's a question at the end of that somewhere. I'm not really sure what the question is, but we have you here, for Christ's sake. We're going to ring you out. We're going to value for money for you being here.
You're the one that's got a science show. You should know that.
This is true. Touché. Good point.
But the thing was, wasn't it, when you won Wimbledon, it was over 30 degrees, wasn't it? Was there a moment when they said, OK, it's time for a warm-up, when you just fancied going, well, bang, all right, that'll do?
Donham Limber, you could bend me over the net at this stage.
Beg your pardon.
Apologies. No, that was never part of the thing. Sorry, I just mean...
I've now got a terrible mental image going on.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I apologise. Mark is our guest. It's filth. I apologise. OK. Getting that round. The boys go to Ed, Hugh and Milton. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a blockbuster film.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius. Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife. Please leave a message after the tone.
You're going straight to hell.
I think you're going straight to DVD, mate.
OK, Iron Man. You win. You do the ironing.
Is it a bird? Yes.
Lord of the Rings, UK version. People come from the Shires to go on a very long journey on the Northern Line to Morden. And when they get there, it's shit.
If you push George W. Bush into that vat of concrete, that sets a very bad precedent.
Don't take me on. I am Wolverine. And these are my friends. Jolene, Windoline and Trampoline.
Gollum, that wasn't the ring I was referring to. Would you please get your finger out of my precious?
Actually, should we just check that Bond is dead before we continue with the plan?
God, Jerry Maguire, you had me at get in the van.
Yoda, have you ever been tested for dyslexia?
If I come back in another life as a disposable razor, I'll be big.
There's something in the tractor beam. Ed?
OK, next topic is unlikely things for Andy Murray to think.
I know it's championship point. I could really do with the poo.
Well, at least now I've won Wimbledon, they'll stop making fun of me on television.
Oi, Tim! Look what I've just won! Hey!
I wonder if my mum's watching today. Of course she is. She's always watching.
Could break his serve. Or I could break his fucking legs.
I remember when I used to train.
What is that? He's in the room.
So, I remember when I used to train in Scotland, I was a lot more unhealthier. I used to serve with a potato instead of a bowl so I could have lots of chips afterwards.
I wonder if Kim really likes tennis.
Wish Kim would shut up. Oh, Ed Barney's so funny. He's so good.
When are Athena going to make a poster of me scratching my ass?
Why do I spend my life trying to hit a fuzzy green apple with a snowshoe?
God, it's great having an enormous penis.
I think I just saw Ivan Lendl raise his eyebrow. That means he's just ejaculated.
Wimbledon's all very well. I wish I was playing Farming Simulator.
Venus has the arse, Serena's got the tits.
Oh, that's not going in. OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Hugh and Milton. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ed Byrne, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Holly Walsh and Hal Cruttenden. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
We're cavorting with the K-Folk tomorrow at 10. Catherine Ryan, Josh Widdicombe and Phil Jupitus join Stephen Fry on BBC Two for brand new QI.
Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen, and joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Hal Cruttenden and Miles Jupp, Alistair McGowan, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. We start tonight with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Is Putin saying, damn, did I put the cyanide in the tea or in the sherry?
Is Cameron, in fact, trying to upset Putin by trying to drink his sherry in the most gay way possible?
Putin does look really relaxed, doesn't he? I think he's watching one of his favourite sports and there may be two bears killing a dog.
What, Bear Dog? I love Bear Dog. I watch it on Russian television all the time.
Cameron presumably is just saying, 2 more series and I invade Syria.
Is that David Cameron tries to lighten the mood at the G20 by playing a tiny trumpet?
Are you sure it's not actually a picture of Mr. Burns and Smithers?
I think they're discussing election strategy. I think Putin's explaining how he's already won his next 4 elections.
Presumably they're playing the Obama speech drinking game. Every time Obama says red line, they have to have a drink.
Maybe neither of them are speaking.
That's true.
Yeah. Just taking apart the entire conceit of Andy's bill.
Can I just say at this point that I can't do an impression of David Cameron? I don't think anybody can. And in fact, I think I was only asked on this programme tonight because Dara actually, there was a point in a week that Dara was not feeling very well. So they said, so we need a cover in case Dara doesn't make it to the show and the recording. So if you can come in and do that, would be great. Andy Parsons.
What a particularly savage Ed Byrne impersonation you're doing there. I never knew he had a love child with Louis Walsh, but they seem to be living in one giant house together, raised by Terry Wogan. Anyway, so...
Don't worry, we won't let him insult you like that again.
Do they have the correct answer, please?
They're at the G20.
They are, of course, at the G20. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. Yes, very good. Very good. This is a picture of Vladimir Putin and David Cameron at the recent G20 summit when Russia played host to world leaders in St. Petersburg. The gathering was at times deemed to be frosty, with leaders clashing over Syria. Do we think Russia were good hosts?
No, I don't. I think they're great, were they? They slagged us off for being a small island.
They did.
And then David Cameron had to come forward and say, look, we've lots of achievements, including Shakespeare, the Beatles and One Direction. And, of course, One Direction making it big in America at the moment. And we've got to thank the Americans, because obviously the more time they spend in America, the less time they will be in the UK.
I think the insult was in translation anyway, wasn't it? Because Putin actually said little country, and it wasn't about Britain, it was about Cameron, and he didn't add tree at the end.
It was very... They didn't feel that the G20 normally had a rap slam down session where countries would bang the others. Oh, Britain, you so small, you only got one time zone. Oh! Yeah. Can you hear me, Indonesia? I I think you can. Oh, I'm sorry, Britain, you don't have a Thunder Regent. Canada knows what I'm talking about, yeah.
So, I don't think that Britain does only have one time zone. I know Lowestoft is years behind us.
If it was bad for Britain being insulted, there were countries who came out of it worse. Spain have dropped out of the G20. And they just got an observer's seat, which is like inviting them to your dinner party and going, well, I've got an old deck chair. You can sit over here and you can watch the chat going on. And some mismatched cutlery we can give you.
We'll chuck you a drumstick every now and again.
You know, you're right there, Spain. See, well up there. And the seating plan, do you see all the hassle about the seating plan?
Well, it's a great shot, isn't it?
It's a fabulous shot, isn't it?
When do they put in the massive roulette ball?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Who's going to speak next? We'll find out with this.
Catering
Spain has to run around the outside.
And we're being chased by a bull.
Spain has to run around the outside. They have to tap somebody in the shoulder. The person has to get up and run after Spain. And if they catch Spain before Spain get into their chair, then they get to keep their place in the G20.
To me, that looks like a meeting of the BBC bosses to discuss the overspending problem.
Why don't we just throw a load of money into the middle and we'll wrestle for it? But there's no way into the middle that there would be some point where somebody would have called for an aid and gone, I've dropped my pen. Get my pen. Discreetly lower themselves into the middle of the meringue. Slowly fix the pen back out again. Don't mind me. What gift, by the way? Do you know what gift Russia gave Cameron?
Oh, yes, coasters. No, the ashes of Kim Philby. No. No, it might have been a tea towel.
That would have been great in a tiny Ashes thing. Yeah. They could have played spying tournaments every 2 years for the Ashes of Kim Philby.
Was it Bill Bryson's book, Notes from a Small Island?
Oh, that would have been a zinger. Maybe you've read it. It covers your entire country in 200 pages. I think Canada knows what I'm talking about. Ignore that. And at international level, zing!
Was it like one of those Russian dolls with Cameron on the outside and then Gordon Brown in that and then Tony Blair inside that?
It descended
and then
down
all the way back to Churchill.
All the way down to Churchill. It was a set of Russian dolls with British Prime Minister.
So Ted Heath was inside Margaret Thatcher. Which would have come as a surprise to a lot of people.
And a first for Ted Heath.
OK, moving on. What's going on here?
Is it Bring Your Son to Work Day?
That is a corgi by the Queen's blanket. That needs a bit of grooming, doesn't it?
It's Charles saying, Andrew's down. They've got him. He fell for it completely.
Is the Queen going, look, the Middletons are driving themselves?
There's the Queen saying, oh, look, Charles, there's Helen Mirren. I'm going to be playing her in the new Danny Boyle film.
It's possible they are just enjoying the badger cull.
Maybe they're not speaking.
Stop undermining the structure. Whilst the Queen was up in Scotland, who was found by police in Buckingham Palace Gardens?
This was Prince Andrew.
Yes.
And apparently the police stopped him. They thought he was a waster, and it turned out they were right.
He has a voice that means go, state your business. He'd go, 10 years enough. You there with the tan and the golf clubs. Before you get into that helicopter. Who are you? What are you doing here?
They wanted him to prove that he was a royal, and apparently he just stood around doing nothing, and they took that as sufficient proof. So...
Do you know the most stupid thing about this is he apparently said to the policeman who stopped him, he said, do you know who I am? And to which the answer is, clearly not.
He does have that look of a man who's eaten Prince Andrew.
I think he actually lives in the garden. He was found in the garden, wasn't
Yes, he was. He was walking around
he actually lives in the garden?
He had a big
Is he like Stig of the Dump? Does he live in the garden? That's what I want to know. Has he fallen so far down the royal pecking order that he now actually just lives in the garden of nuts and berries?
What was the timeline of this, though? Was this before the burglary or was this after the burglary?
It was after. Sorry, there was a burglary. A man broke in 2 days before.
2 days before.
Yeah, hence there was a lot of... They were all on a little bit more...
They didn't think that man was still hanging around there, did they? 2 days after
They
the
often
burglary.
return to the scene of the crime. That is one of the things I've learned about the criminal classes over the years. Who did they contact, by the way, to give a comment on this break-in?
Oh, Michael Fagan.
Michael Fagan. Michael Fagan, who broke into Buckingham Palace 30 years ago and sat on the edge of the Queen's bed for an hour until eventually... I think it's like she said, would you like a cup of tea? And he said, I'll just ring for one. Somebody in my room!
They all said that.
I need like a cup of tea!
They said that was very dangerous, didn't they? Because he sat on the edge of the Queen's bed, but the edge of the Queen's bed is up to a quarter of a mile away from the Queen.
I can't believe people aren't breaking in the whole time to Buckingham Palace. It's one of the few places where there's a flag to tell you if anyone's home or not. I bet they don't cancel the milk or anything. You know?
You think as they leave, they're about to put down, and she goes, no, leave the flag up. Right? Leave the flag up and one light in the hall.
Because the whole country was shocked, I think, by the burglary. Everyone thinking, how can you get an intruder into the palace? We were all shocked by it, except Helen Mirren, who's probably thinking, right, that's another film for me to do then. I'll probably get Liam Neeson in
The
to play
Queen 2, who's in my house?
Liam Neeson playing the burglar. Liam Neeson playing the burglar, going, so, you're probably wondering how I got into your bedroom, Your Majesty. How does Aslan ever get anywhere? Came in through the wardrobe.
I honestly thought you were going to go with Taken instead. I honestly thought you were going to say, I have a very specific set of skills.
I don't see adult films, I just see the child films.
Yes, oh, sorry.
What is anyone talking about?
Perhaps, Miles, we weren't talking.
Very good. The end of that round, the points go to Miles, Hal and Andy. Now we play a round called Set Your Phasers to Fun. This game involves Hal and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First subject is building. Who wants to come in on that? Hal Cruttenden.
Building freaks me out a bit. Well, builders intimidate me, because I've had builders come to work at my house and they work for like 2 days, then go away for a week. And you end up making that phone call to them, and it makes me feel like a little kid whose parents have split up and the dad's being really crap. It's the same conversation. You just go, you said you'd come on Saturday. You said you'd be here on Saturday. I'm really sorry, mate. I've been really busy. I can make it Tuesday. Do you promise you'll come on Tuesday? Can we go to the park? I love you. They intimidate me. I've had a builder come and give me a quote on a problem in my house and make it worse right in front of my face. Literally, feeling my wall, going, yeah, feel that damp, mate, that's chronic, that's soaking wet, yeah? All round there, that's soaking wet, yeah? I put a little knife in, yeah? Watch it crumble. Look at the plaster fall away from your wall. Look at the size of that hole in your wall. That hole wasn't there when you arrived. It's massive, isn't it, mate? It's massive. No other job does that. No other job diagnoses a problem by making it worse, do they? Nobody. You know, doctors don't go, I think you've got brittle bones, mate, I do, and then stamp on your leg, do they? See that, mate? Your leg was like a twig, yeah? I think you got a dodgy heart as well. Boom! See, you're having a heart attack, you see? I actually tried to help this builder finish our kitchen, and he just stopped and went, mate, and I kind of jumped because I'd been momentarily transfixed by the beauty of the bubble in the spirit level. He just stopped. He said, seriously, mate, leave it. You don't know what you're doing. I'll finish it off. And that night I had a dream that I was making love to my wife. And he walked in and said, seriously, mate, leave it. You don't know what you're doing. I'll finish it off.
Thank you very much, Hal Cruttenden. OK, Gary now, so let's see what topic you've got, Gary. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is childhood.
As a child, I was made to walk the plank. We couldn't afford a dog. My 6-year-old refuses to eat anything other than alphabeti spaghetti. Luckily, he's dyslexic, so I just buy him normal spaghetti. Seems to work. Dad, these are all L's. Yeah, it's Welsh. I bought him some medicine for his ADHD. On the side of the bottle, it said concentrate. I thought if he could do that... I bought a really nice 12-year-old Scotch. Obviously, his parents weren't pleased. I hate people who complain about breastfeeding in public. Like, I don't want to see it, or that's disgusting, or you can't do that, you're not a woman. And that's not a baby. As kids, we always enjoyed dipping ginger nuts into a steaming hot cup of tea. But, of course, nowadays, that's called bullying. I shouldn't do that, by the way. Ginger jokes are the last vestiges of racism in comedy, and they started a ginger pride movement to stamp that shit out. They had a march in Hyde Park. Well, they were going to when the sun came out. Nan always said that when she was young, she never had to worry about leaving her back door open. What a slag. I'm totally going to get in trouble with the family again. This is really not worth it. You got to look after your health as you get older. The other day I did a poo and noticed there was a little blood in it. I said, "Oi, bruv, get out my toilet, innit?" Thank you.
Well done, Guy Delaney. Well done, both of you. Hoist for both of you. Come on back. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Alistair, what category would you like?
I'll go for sport, please.
OK, Grant, your category is sport. The answer is 56 years. What is the question?
Well, is it Eddie Izzard's next challenge for Sport Relief? I'm going to run for 56 years without stopping. In 3 languages, we're the family of chinchillas.
Is it when somebody says they're 13 online, how old are they actually?
Is it when is the next train to Morden via Bank?
Is this how old Dara will look when he's 45?
Oh,
it's just in jest.
She was 45 12 years ago.
Is it how long have BT been telling me my call is important to them?
Is it what is the age difference between the male and female presenters on Sky Sports News?
Is it how long is part 2 of The Hobbit?
How long does 56-year Ron Sale-Wood stain last for?
I don't know about you guys, but this is the age of consent for my daughters.
Is it at the time of the Big Bang? How long had Bruce Forsyth already been alive?
Is it how long you could travel in space with the right oxygen supply and just Dara O'Brien for company?
OK.
We'd both be very happy, thank you very much.
Is it, how long is the gap between each edition of the monthly magazine I'm No Good at Maths?
Is it pick an arbitrary length of time?
Is it how much bad luck if you break a glitter ball?
Proper joke. And you know what 50
Is it the gap between Tokyo Olympics?
It is absolutely the gap between different Tokyo Olympics. Thank you very, very much.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant.
Yes. The question I was looking for is, what will the gap between Olympic Games be for the newly announced 2020 host city Tokyo? This is news that Tokyo has beaten rivals Madrid and Istanbul to stage the 2020 Olympics and Paralympics. The last time the city hosted the Olympics was in 1964.
France are going to be pissed off, aren't they? Because, like, Japan's got it, Spain didn't get it, and Turkey didn't get it. Now, Spain didn't have any money, Turkey's next to a war zone, and Japan's had some nuclear meltdown, and still Paris can't get the Games.
Yeah. Aren't the 2020 Olympics for people with perfect vision?
Harsh for the 2020 Paralympics blind events, if you expect that as well.
I think the mascot for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics has got to be Godzilla, hasn't it? I mean, it'd be fantastic. They're all doing the sailing, and then suddenly this mascot looms out of the sea. They'll break world records. They'll never have sailed that quickly.
They said, didn't they? They said that Fukushima was no problem because it's... how far away is it?
It's 100 miles away.
So that gives them lots of time to stop the mutant lizard destroying the opening ceremony.
I didn't know Boris Johnson was going.
Yeah.
What are the Japanese government going to do about Fukushima?
In my experience, these things tend to sort themselves out.
Give it a couple of million years, it'll be fine.
This too shall pass. Just about 10 million years.
Just hope during the Olympics the rowers don't fall out of their boats, you know, into the radioactive water. Double skulls? Yes, actually.
Copter fours.
I'm with you. The Fukushima is they're going to build an ice wall to trap the water because the water's dripping out of
Is it
them.
being solved by the X-Men or something?
I'm not saying they're going to build it with their minds. They're actually going to have to take with the machine and stuff. They're going to storm, make ice wall with your breath.
What will the ice wall do then? You did physics.
It'll block the bad things from getting into the other place. Obviously, I've made it a little bit more comprehensible.
They've actually restarted fishing off Fukushima, haven't they? And so you can now apparently get real fish fingers and a cod drumstick. So,
which sports, by the way, are back in the Olympics and look like they weren't going to be in?
Whaling.
Yeah.
You watch, they'll be right back in with that.
Yeah.
Kiss chase.
Yeah, kiss chase is in. Yeah. Hide and seek, they're doing that.
Hide and seek was. Somebody actually did propose hide and seek.
Iraq would win that.
Yeah.
Which of David Cameron's current favourite projects is coming under increasing criticism at the moment?
this is the HS2, the high-speed rail link between London and Birmingham. National Audit Office have said that it is based on assumptions that don't actually tally with real life. And I'm guessing one of those assumptions is the idea that anybody wants to get to Birmingham in a hurry.
But they keep talking about the spiralling costs, and I think, well, why build it as a spiral? Surely if we just built it flat.
We should be proud of our rail network anyway, because the British rail network is absolutely fantastic. The British trains provide, for example, unparalleled views of the British countryside, don't they? Often without the blurring effects of velocity.
But apparently it's going to cost £80 billion, and you're thinking surely it would be cheaper to find anybody who wants to get to Birmingham in a hurry and just buy them a house in Birmingham.
For £80 billion, you could knock down Birmingham and rebuild it closer to London.
Exactly.
At the end of that round, the points go to Alistair, Hugh and Gary. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
And the starting pistol's gone off, and Oscar Pistorius has got his arms in the air, claiming his innocence already.
Well, good news here in Flushing Meadow. Murray has broken Djokovic. Both legs, one arm. He won't recover from that.
Oh, clearly that's a dive by Tom Daley.
So it's 1-1 at half-time, and... sorry, I'm finding it hard to concentrate here. Gareth Southgate has just had me in absolute stitches.
And that's an unfortunate wardrobe malfunction for the Ukrainian women shot putter there as a bollock pops out.
Well, do you know, I've completely forgotten when England won the World Cup.
130 kilograms. This would be a world record, but this small Peruvian is determined to swallow it and get it through customs.
And as he approaches the corner at 200 miles an hour, they really need to check out this cyclist for drugs.
And as a mark of respect, the Great Britain water polo team will be wearing armbands.
Croquet does not get better than this.
Well, my watch has 3 additional minutes. Don't buy a Rolex from a street market.
Hello, I'm Michael Owen. Welcome to the millions of you watching on BT Sport.
And he's got 4 off 1 ball. It's a lot of children that Lance Armstrong has fathered.
And the sumo wrestler grunts as his opponent enters the ring. Pretty sure that move's illegal.
Well, it's 1:30 and the covers are still on. Kevin Peterson simply won't get out of fucking bed.
And Tiger Woods is going for his 3rd hole of the afternoon. Surely by now he should have left the hotel.
And welcome to the 2020 Tokyo Olympic sailing competition. Oh my God, Godzilla!
OK, the next topic is commercials that never made it to air.
I wipe my arse with Colgate. And now, I've got a ring of confidence.
If it tastes like butter and spreads straight from the fridge, you've probably had a power cut.
Condoms, because if she'd sleep with you, she'd sleep with anyone.
Ryanair, because I'm worth shit.
As leader of the Labour Party, I always like to look my best. It's very important to me to have a smooth finish, which is why I use the Mach 4. As I often say,
that was a close shave, wasn't it, Gromit?
Frosties, they're all right.
New BG from Garnier. Exfoliates, hydrates, epilates, urinates. Probably not that last one.
Unlimited minutes, unlimited text, unlimited music downloads. Yes, it's our new twat on a train tariff.
Have a break. Have a wank.
Maybe she's born with it. In which case, I probably shouldn't take the piss.
Bekele has to walk for 5 miles every day for fresh water. That's why she ought to be thinking about the new Mazda.
Coco Chanel. Says bloody horrible, I'm sticking to Horlicks.
Lidl, because life didn't work out as you planned.
Hi, I'm Kevin Bacon, doing an ad on British TV. What happened?
Have you got that bloated, uncomfortable feeling in your stomach? Then try going for a shit.
The DFS furniture sale is not currently on.
This Christmas, get Mock the Week on DVD, featuring all the regulars, Dara O'Brien, and through this week, Andy Parsons, Will, Milton Jones, and of course, don't forget Mickey Flanagan, East End of London, and of course, everybody, very good, Chris Allison. Everyone, at the end of the round, the points to Alistair, Hugh, and Gary.
And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Hal Cunliffe and Miles Jupp. Commiserations to Alistair McGowan, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
More comedy tomorrow night here on BBC Two. Noel Fielding and Ross Noble bring their own surrealist trains of thought to QI at 10.
Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Ramesh Ranganathan and Rob Beckett, Josh Widdicombe, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney.
One clap for Rob.
We start with a game called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, what's going on here?
Is it new exhibition disappoints crowds at London Aquarium?
Is it Labour's best hope? In fact, they've cryogenically frozen him until after the next election.
Is it the Blue Man Group unveil latest member?
He's probably joined the cast of Avatar 2, hasn't he? The quest for unelectium.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, will I ever be leader of them all? No.
Is that the most depressing window in downtown Amsterdam?
My worry about it is that he might just have been caught obsessively watching one of those lights that kills flies in restaurant kitchens.
Is that what you see if you look in a mirror at midnight and say Miliband 3 times?
OK, back to this. Anyone else?
Is it the Labour Party conference?
It is, of course. Thank you very much, Josh Widdicombe. You're absolutely right. It is, of course. This is Ed Miliband at the annual Labour Party conference in Brighton this week, where new party policies threaten to be overshadowed by revelations from former spin doctor Damien McBride of infighting from Labour's past. How has his presentation of policies gone?
My favourite policy in his speech was he said, if he's elected, he's not going to take his shirt off in public.
Yes.
Well, I like that for two reasons. One, it's attainable. And the other one is he said if he's elected, that's going to happen, which implies if he's not, he might just, like, streak through Parliament.
Well, that's the most effective way to get elected, isn't it? If you say, listen, if you don't elect me, I'm going to take my top off and run through the streets. We'll not be voting for him straight.
He just stand and slowly raise up.
Coming
off. It's coming off, yeah. Are you ready for this jelly? There's a kind of an Ed Ball tradition at these conferences every year. Do you remember what it is?
Plays a football match every year?
He does indeed play a football match every year. And every year we show photographs of him playing the football match at the conference. This is from 2 years ago. This is last year's photograph we have as well. They're the standard photograph. He kind of went for a very different look this year. This is this year's.
Amazing!
That is, he's gone it's kind of saucy, if anything. He's gone. I mean, it's the one leg up in a kind of a...
can you imagine?
Paint me like your French ladies, Leo. All right, let's move on to the far more entertaining and comedically gifting conference. In other news, what's going on here?
Is he in fact at Dover Ferry Terminal and he's waving goodbye to the foreigners?
I think it might be just Nigel Farage going, I'm in charge because I'm the most normal.
I'm the electable one. I'm the safe face of UKIP.
I mean, that's actually how he always enters a room. He always walks in and goes, Farage!
Farage sells teeth for party funds. I know he did.
Good that you bought them up.
Nigel, how many immigrants would you be happy with in this country?
His cook, his cleaner, his gardener.
Yes, it is Farage, obviously, at the UKIP conference, which gave more headlines than Labour could possibly dream of, really.
He was pretending still to be a man of the people, wasn't he? And this is a man who used to be a stockbroker who went to public school. You think if he was truly a man of the people, surely he'd be called Nigel Farage rather than Nigel Farage, you know?
Nigel Farage
like garage rather than garage, you know? By all means, he might live in a village, I don't know, in a cottage. Enjoys the sausage, quite possibly. I mean, the trouble is, though, isn't it? People come over here and they can't pronounce our words, can they? It's an outrage. It's an outrage.
It is funny, though, when you see him when he's being the sane member of the party, when he's the one clamping down, because who does he destroyed their party conference?
Godfrey Bloom.
Godfrey Bloom, yes. What did Godfrey Bloom say?
He went to a women in politics discussion and described them all as sluts. And my main question is, when holding a women in politics get together, who is inviting Godfrey Bloom?
Ridiculous. It's like having Tony Blair as Middle East peace ambassador.
What was his defence for calling them sluts?
Well, he said that he called them sluts because they didn't clean behind the fridge. Very odd definition.
It is.
Is that awful euphemism?
No. His argument was that the old meaning of sluts was people who are slatternly or unclean. And that he didn't mean slags at all, right? That was a very weak point where you go, well, I meant sluts in the old 18th century, not contemporary sluts. These women aren't contemporaries. Just look at them. Slags? No.
It became such a massive story, like that overshadowed the whole conference. Like my grandmother heard about it, and she lives in Bongo Bongo land.
I do think it's a strange barometer to choose anyway in terms of deciding task around the house, because genuinely, who cleans behind the fridge? Have I missed a thing here?
Well, how do you get behind the fridge?
You'd have to move the fridge for a start, right?
Well, you have to take out the whole fitted kitchen.
It's another point that if I ever came home, and my wife works it, but if I ever came home and found her cleaning behind the fridge, I have to stage an intervention and go, honey, this is going too far. I just caught you cleaning behind the fridge. I don't think I can take this thing. It was enough. I could get on board with all of our urine being collected in jars, but I can't. But behind the fridge is too far. This is too much. We need to get help here.
He went, women are better at finding mustard in the pantry than driving. And I'm like, why are you hiding the mustard from your wife? Who does that? Has she got a problem? She's like on 2 packs of Coleman's a day, doing lines of the stuff. Yellow all round her nose.
Also, every Sunday morning, he's out with a stopwatch going, OK, oh yeah, you're making a ham sandwich? No, where's the mustard?
He hit a Channel 4 news reporter on the head with a brochure.
Yes, he did.
And apparently, right, this Channel 4 news reporter, he was hit so hard that he actually damaged his brain, and he's now had to become a Channel 5 news reporter.
We actually have, this is the brochure, and the point that it's Michael Crick, I believe, was it Michael Crick?
Michael Crick, yeah, very famous.
Yes, Michael Crick. Michael Crick made the point that this is a brochure, and it's of their conference, and it features faces, there's about 270 faces of UKIP members there, and none of them, well, they're all white. And the man said, there isn't a black face on this, right? And he gave the brilliant counter-argument, which is going, oh, no, you're racist. Which is just one. It's like arguing with an 8-year-old. These people are all white. Oh, they're white. Oh, is that wrong now? Oh, you're a racist. No, wait, you're the racist. No, you're the racist. Essentially. And then just hit him on the head. It is a fine piece of footage.
Do you know what's brilliant about this, though, about this brochure, is
Yes.
that illegal immigrants can cut out the pictures at just about the right size to make a false passport.
It looks like a kind of racist version of Guess Who, where you'd go...
Exactly, yeah.
Are they black? No.
Do they have a beard?
He said he wants to represent the Yorkshire women that always have dinner on the table when you get home. I was like, but no one wants dinner on the table as soon as you get in. You want to put your tracksuit bottoms on first, have a cup of tea, play Candy Crush, and then brave from the fridge for an hour. I'm not going straight into a toad in the hole. I've been working. Got to get my mustard out, haven't I, first?
Okay, end of the round. The post goes to Josh, you and Gary. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features David Cameron and Nick Clegg visiting a train factory.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Nick. We're late again. I said we should take the Jag. You said if we're going to visit trains, we must go by train, and of course the bloody thing broke down. Mind the wall, Nick. Mind the wall. Mind that wall. Mind that wall. Well done, Nick. I wish we could make you disappear permanently. Anyway, I tell you what, I'll do all the talking. You just stand there and smile inanely. Right, good morning, everyone. I'm sorry we're late. Somebody fell under Eric Pickles at Hemel Hempstead, and we've come on the replacement bus service. But now would you please give a very warm welcome to the Deputy Prime Minister. Well, thank you for the warmth of that welcome. I'm wearing a red tie today to try and look more socialist than my colleague. It's not really very convincing, is it? We're here to announce a massive £40 billion investment in high-speed rail. Please feel free to show your appreciation of the policies of the coalition government. Well, high-speed rail is vital. Think of the advantages. If you are travelling to Birmingham, soon you'll be able to spend an extra 20 minutes in Birmingham. Well, thank you for your enthusiasm. That was an absolute fucking disaster. I hate trains. Oh, look at this. You see this picture I've downloaded? This is Nick Clegg's head on a woman's body, and up behind him, that's David Cameron. He's about to give him a right shot. Oh, hello. How are you doing? Hello, gentlemen. I'm afraid we're lost, both here and in government. I wonder if you can help us find a way out. Oh, look, I wonder what you've got on your computer.
Well done, you! Now we play a round called Gag Theft Auto 5. This game involves Romesh and Gary, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funnier. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is education. Who wants to come in that? Romesh.
I used to be a teacher, actually. I was a maths teacher. I wasn't a very good one. But as I found out, it doesn't actually matter. You can get away with it for quite a while. But the problem is, with Ofsted coming, you've got an Ofsted inspector in the back of your class. I've got to make sure I'm doing my job properly. Yeah? Got learning outcomes up on the board, Pythagoras and trigonometry flying all over the shop, knocking it out the park. Kid in the front row's got a question, I'm straight in there. Yes, Timothy? How can I help you? And then he'd go, why are you being weird? Right. So then I've got to convey to Timothy, without the inspector realising, that I am going to bloody end him, right? Because of political correctness, all textbooks have got to be multicultural nowadays, which means that every single question in every single maths book has got to have a white kid and a black kid in it, or a white kid and an Asian kid in it. Now, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't have wanted to hang out with a kid of another colour. If every time I met up with him, you wanted to do bloody maths. I don't know. The questions you get in these textbooks are amazing. You get questions like, Philip thinks that the answer is 8. Dilip thinks that the answer is 10. Which one is correct? And then a kid would put his hand up and he'd say, I think Dilip's correct. And I'd say, why? And he'd say, oh, because Asian kids are bods, aren't they? We had uniform at the school. I agree with uniform. The problem is they're very strict about it. We had a sixth form. Talking to sixth form lads about what they're wearing, absolutely not a problem. Got no issue with that. Talking to sixth form girls about what they're wearing, something I felt a lot less comfortable about. But what I actually found was if I just looked at them for long enough, they soon covered themselves up.
Thank you very much, Robert. OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what you have. Let's spin the wheel. And the subject is relationships.
OK.
How are you?
I used to suffer from premature ejaculation, which made me feel selfish and bad for my girlfriend. Then she suggested I try this special cream that reduces your sensitivity. And it really worked, because now I don't give a shit about her. I bought a vegan friend of mine a fancy cookbook. Unfortunately, he said he couldn't accept it as it was leather-bound, which meant it was too heavy for him to lift. When I was a teenager, my mum always said, your bedroom's so messy, you'll never get any self-respecting girl to come back here. But luckily, they weren't the ones I was going after. I watched the director's cut of a porn film. At the end, he actually fixes the washing machine. I was in a sex shop. I saw a dildo described as 9 inches long and realistic. I thought, well, which is it? The Archbishop of Canterbury recently said he couldn't support gay marriage without first having a mandate. Honestly, if he's that bothered, I'll go out with him. One time at a party, I chucked my car keys into a big bowl and everyone just stared at me and the trifle was ruined. I was watching a really weird porno the other day that was just a fat man crying and wanking at the same time. And then I realised I hadn't turned the telly on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gary. OK, points for both of you. Come on back. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Ramesh, which category would you like?
Science, please, Dara.
Science, OK. Your category is science, and the answer is 1.75 billion years. What is the question?
Is it how long it would take Joey Essex to spell the word hypothetical?
What is the best before date for coal?
Is it how long will I wait for a girl to text me back before I'm sure she's not interested?
Is it...
Thank you.
Is it how long it takes for a bowl of porridge to cool down?
Is it how long does a panda go between shags?
Is it how long will it take my iPhone 4 to download iOS 7?
Is it on my first trip to Nando's, how long did I sit at my table before realising you had to go up to order?
That's sweet. You're just going, oh, they're very slow in here. Trailing your napkin and wondering, well, I shall write a very harsh review of this.
Is it if you booked onto a Ryanair time machine, how far from where you want it to be would you in fact end up?
Is it how long we've got on Earth till it's too hot to live on?
That's absolutely right. Well done, Rob. Thank you very much. Yes, the question I was looking for was how many years maximum do scientists predict human beings have left on Earth? This is the news that scientists have estimated that the Earth could possibly support life for up to a further 1.75 billion years. And after that time, the planet will become uninhabitable. Why will it become uninhabitable?
1.75 billion years, they reckon, right, that then the Earth is going to, like, get so hot because the sun will expand and the temperatures will soar and the oceans will disappear. And you're thinking, that is one hell of a long-range weather forecast, isn't it?
How hot does it need to get before I can call my house a villa? Yeah. Is it like 35 degrees, or...?
I'm sure... I presume there's some architectural part to Villa as well, not just... It's sunny.
It's just a bungalow with a pool, isn't it?
It's not going to make much... I mean, I don't care anyway. It's not going to make much difference to me unless omega-3 is more powerful than we ever imagined.
it should be said that if you add 1.75 billion to the total time we've been on the planet as a species so far, the total is 1.75 billion. So it's pretty much unlikely we're still going to be around at that stage.
It's an unfair time for it to happen, though, isn't it? Just when the Eurozone will be coming out of recession.
If it's going to be too hot in 2 billion years, whatever, it's ages away, it's going to be well nice for a good couple of thousand. Isn't it? A really nice temperature for a few
It's a
thousand
very
years.
British
before we worry
reaction,
about
isn't it?
that.
You know, oh, well, it's going to be uninhabitable by being too hot. But for a while in Britain, it'd be bloody lovely, wouldn't it? It'd be bloody lovely.
The worrying thing for me is that, you think, well, it's going to happen in 1.75 billion years, and so it doesn't really affect me. But unfortunately, as a Hindu, I believe in reincarnation. I'm seriously worried that I might be a goat when the big...
Bluey occurs, yeah.
Did you come back as an oven glove?
I'm not a scientist, but so...
That's important that you said that at the start.
I've kind of read it. See if I'm right here, Dara.
Yeah.
So the sun is like Helen Mirren, in that the older it gets, the hotter it gets. Is that how it works?
Essentially, yes, because Helen Mirren started burning hydrogen, but as she's grown older, she begins to burn helium and larger elements until eventually she will create iron and explode her outer layers across the gap. Are we still talking about Helen Mirren now, or the sun? I can't quite remember.
Does this mean Helen Mirren is going to turn into a white dwarf? That would be remarkable.
At some point, it would be great if she did. Hello, Helen. Hello.
How are we talking? Like inside of a McDonald's apple pie? Is that...
It's going to be... You know how hot it's going to be? Every day the sun is going to say, what a scorcher, and there'll be a picture of a girl on Bournemouth Beach.
Where will we be? Will we be here?
We'll be on one of those, the new sort of Gillies or whatever it's called, or Kepler.
Kepler 22b Gillies. Yeah, there are planets that we...
There are thousands of planets, aren't there?
Yeah, the idea is that we would have moved to another planet.
In whatever it's called, the Goldilocks.
Oh, yeah, that the planet would be suitable for life, yeah, but which means it's probably life on it, in which case then we arrive, essentially immigrants. It'd just be fantastic. We arrive in a hideously ironic turn of fate. We arrive and go, hello, and some UKIP are running Kepler 22b and go, oh, we're not having those Earthlings here. Oh, they'll drive prices here down, yeah.
Why is it called Goldilocks?
Goldilocks is neither too hot nor too cold. It's a porridge reference, because that's apparently very important when you're a planet.
OK, let me explain to you basically. Bette Midler likes porridge, but Bette Midler doesn't like hot porridge. She likes kind of medium-tempered porridge before she explodes and engulfs the entire planet. That's the way scientists always talk to each other about this stuff.
When did Helen Mirren become Bette Midler?
Oh, fuck, it's not. It was Helen Mirren.
Bette Midler! What a weird little Freudian slip.
Yeah, sorry.
Bette Midler.
Someone fancies Bette Midler!
Yeah, we all have this shadow underneath Bette Midler's wings, where it'll always be cooler under her wings. That's where the wind is. OK. Sorry. I can't believe it. Anyway, OK. What bad news did Ryanair have this week?
Is it nobody had excess luggage, so they didn't make a profit?
Yeah. Ryanair, very much the UKIP of international airlines.
It was a survey, wasn't it?
It was a survey,
by
yeah.
Which magazine that said that their customer service was terrible.
Surprise. There are no examples. Yeah, there was a Which survey in which they were the worst of 100 well-known brands. They were the worst in terms of customer. This is unsurprising, given that they have charged people for wheelchairs in the past.
They said that 99% of complaints were dealt with within 7 days, and you go, that is still too long to be on hold.
They charge for absolutely everything, though, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, and you're thinking, you could quite imagine being on Ryanair, hear a tannoy announcement, or there's been a loss of pressure in the cabin, and then a second tannoy hands up those people who want to rent an oxygen mask.
I'd pay for the oxygen mask, but I'd want to use it. I get really irritated on planes. I know it's there, but it's never, ever popped down. Has it ever popped down for you?
I've never had it pop down for me, no.
No, but you know it popping down is a bad sign.
Oh, no.
You don't want to go, great, the air mask's down, this is going to be great fun!
And then turn to my child and go, wait your turn. Very important that I do me first. So we'll just have one for the entire family.
It's like a buddy procedure at diving.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
They're thinking of actually charging. You can actually think of getting porn on Ryanair as a pay movie. You don't want the person sat next to you watching porn on the flight, do you? them pretending the entire flight to be trying to get something out of their pocket.
If you were watching porn on a Ryanair flight, at least you could watch somebody being screwed in a more uncomfortable space than you're in.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Rob, Ramesh and Andy.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a DIY show.
Many people have written to us asking how you can make your house greener. Simple. Paint it green.
And there it is, a perfect patio, and the police won't suspect a thing.
No, don't bother putting the kettle on there. We'll crack on with the work straight away.
The walls are plastered, and I'm a little bit shit-faced too, to be honest.
Welcome to Bollywood Does DIY. Episode number 1, change a light bulb.
I was going to do that.
I'm Nick Knowles, and no matter how many DIY programmes I make, I'll never be as famous as my sister Beyoncé.
This week on Grand Designs, 2 more middle-class tossers piss away their life savings on some glorified Wendy house.
After 3 hours of sawing, 6 hours of hammering, and sanding all day, it's done. Finally, your neighbours have moved out.
So for the best finish, rub vigorously up and down with a piece of sandpaper, but be warned, you may get a very sore penis.
We've managed to double the price of this house in Middlesbrough. We put 20 quid in the biscuit tip.
Jen's parents really helped us out with the budget on this project by dying.
So, drill the pilot hole, take the plasterboard fixing, but before you countersink the batten, ask yourself this. Is it any wonder my wife left me for a table magician from Macclesfield?
We sandblasted several layers of varnish off, but sadly, there was very little of the real Dale Winton left.
This week, John from Peterborough successfully put a roll of wallpaper up himself, so we're taking him to hospital.
We've got 24 hours to renovate Sharon's house. Let's start by smashing her back doors in.
Sarah Beanie has helped Andy convert his semi into a full boner.
OK, the next topic is unlikely lines from a romantic novel.
He gazed into her eyes and said, is it better with this lens or this lens?
Godfrey looked behind the fridge. He was in luck. She was a slut.
Will you make me the happiest man on earth? Will you marry me? Will you change your name? Will you become the next Mrs. Goatee Bollocks?
Yes, the Earth did move for me. I think they must have started fracking.
As he looked into her eyes for the last time, he whispered in her ear, always remember, we'll always have the bins behind Morrison's.
Romeo, 5-5, Alpha Zulu Tango, Grey Skoda Octavia, last seen heading towards M6.
I've been looking for you my whole life. iPhone maps are crap.
He made love to her like no man had ever done before. It was so intense, she dropped her chips.
Fancy a coffee, she said. He realised his luck was in and started taking his clothes off, at which point he got kicked out of Starbucks.
They skipped hand in hand through the wood. Oh, look, he said, a yew tree. How appropriate.
He was a strapping officer from World War I. She was disappointed with uniformdating.com.
Daisy was everything he looked for in a woman. Pissed with low self-esteem.
She danced as if no one was watching, but people were watching, and she looked like a twat.
At last, I have found you. I have found you. Is it really you? Are you Wally?
Does this story have a happy ending? He asked her. She snapped back. Happy ending, $50.
OK, point at the end of the round for Rob, Romesh and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Romesh Ranganathan and Rob Beckett. Commiserations with Josh Widdicombe, Hugh Dennis and Gary Delaney. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Don't get yourself in a tangle tomorrow. QI is here talking all things knits and knots with the letter K. That's at 10.
Hello and welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Darby and joining me this week are Andy Parsons, Josh Widdicombe and Miles Jupp, Sean Walsh, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. We start with a game called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, what's going on here?
Has the recession hit the Village People Tribute Act?
Is he saying, and in this week's Grand Designs, I've entombed Kevin MacLeod behind this wall?
Is it the worst profile on uniformdating.com?
Has Miley Cyrus just nicked his sledgehammer?
Has he, in fact, has he just bricked over the door that leads to Nick Clegg's office?
Is the caption, under me, Britain faces its biggest problem, and it's the hat speaking?
Is he just going, no, I don't know when it's going to be finished. I normally work in the car park.
He does have that unmistakable NCP look about him, doesn't he?
Is it the Downing Street Fives Court extension?
What is Fives?
What is Fives?
It's squash with your hand. Oh, God, I've given myself away there.
Could we have the answer? Why
Is he
this
playing-
week? Why this week?
Is he playing Scissor Stone Udder?
Why is Cameron?
Is it David Cameron having a trip at the Conservative Party conference?
That's absolutely right. That's who's in the news this week. Well done, Andy Parsons. Yes, this is Prime Minister David Cameron on a visit to a housing development near Manchester during this week's Conservative Party conference. At the conference, a number of high-profile policies were announced. Have you seen any of these policies?
Yes, they have announced that married couples are going to get a tax allowance, aren't they?
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be £200 a year. Yeah. Wow. To encourage couples to spend £4 a week. It's brilliant, isn't it? People going, yeah, walk out, go on, don't turn around now. Come on, eh? There's £2 in it for you.
It literally is a pint. You could just get a pint out of it, and then every week you'll argue about who gets the pint.
You're talking London prices here.
Oh, sorry, of course. If they break into a student bar in Stoke, you get hammered for a month. Yeah. Well, I don't think that's going to help the cohesion of their marriage.
So at £200 a year, the average wedding is £18,000. So to break even, 90 years you need to be married for.
Don't go dying on me. Don't go dying on me. I need another 23 years out of you. Come on.
We're not married, Andy.
No. That was like the weirdest romantic movie ever. Don't you die on me. Don't you die on me, Josh Widdicombe.
Don't I feel the gooseberry?
Who's actually going to be... What decision would you make differently because it's £200 a year?
Well, my accountant advised me to become a Mormon.
Your accountant actually is a Mormon. He just hands out those leaflets all the time.
That was a completely unrelated anecdote.
It is really, because it's social policy, social engineering by dangling money in front of people.
He hasn't dangled it in front of people, he's waved it in front of people and said, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. That's what he's done.
What are the policies that they mentioned?
There's a policy for the unemployed, which is it's a great policy. What happens is if you can't find a job, you've got to clean up litter or feed old people, which is kind of offensive to old people that they've said they're the worst two jobs.
What you would need to do, actually, is get one half of the job list to pick up litter and the other half of the job list to drop the litter. And that way, you've got twice as many people busy and you're not robbing anyone of employment.
There is a big issue about the employment of wombles after this.
They've all come over from Bulgaria anyway.
No one wants to be made unemployed. It's a horrible thing. I mean, to be handed a clock and shown the door, especially if you work for Al-Qaeda.
Other plans that the long-term unemployed would pick up litter, and that also that they would... How often do they have to go to the job centre?
Well, every day.
Every single day.
And I think if you're going to go to the job centre every day, you might as well give them a job in the job centre.
And the Help to Buy schemes, in the Help to Buy scheme.
I'm in favour of home loans, but I think it was a bit formulaic by Home Loans 3.
Like he was like 19 or something. It was like, we're all going off on holiday. Yeah, right, yeah, I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
The problem is I don't think most people understand all this stuff. I think if you want to appeal to people, it needs to be more simple. Like, I would probably pay a bit more attention if one of the policies was all fire alarms just start off by going, psst, your toast is just a bit burnt. And then I go, oh, right, this guy knows what he's talking about. Or if the government made plug sockets higher so you didn't have to bend over as much. Yorkshire puddings with every meal, yes, Graham. This stuff, I just get confused. Too many numbers, too many people. I don't know what's going on.
I look forward to some... Because you...
I thought this was Buzzcocks.
In other news, who are the government hoping will defend Britain from cyber attacks?
This is the idea that they're going to get geeks, computer geeks, employed by the army to protect us. And let's face it, it's going to change the face of war if it's all cyber war, isn't it? You know, people instead of going, oh, you know, I fought in World War II, Battle of Dunkirk, it'll be more like I fought in World War III, level 5.
Yeah, they're getting hackers to jump ship, essentially, which is like such a naff movie thing that you get the hacker into the room and he goes, you can't pin anything on me, and the guy goes, I'm not here to arrest you, I'm here to offer you a job.
Are these the people that have got excellent password strength? Is that who these people are?
That's society, yeah. That's all the time that you've typed it in, that's what it's been doing. If you're wondering how, what? Josh's mum? No. Why you would call her Josh's mum? I have no idea.
We're not very close. We're not very close.
Cyber war films, though, they're going to be dull, aren't they? You know, things like Das Reboot. The Great Alt-Delete Escape. That's not going to be a corker, is it, that one?
Saving as Private Ryan?
What if we're in Platoon? No! I spilled coffee on my laptop!
You just got to do the most difficult things on a computer to win it. So it's like unsubscribing from LinkedIn and finding the hashtag key on an Apple keyboard without having to copy it from Google, which is what I have to do every time.
My name has a little line over the O. My proper name, I professionally have had to dump it because I can't find it on a keyboard. I have to abuse my Irish heritage. I can't. It's somewhere. It's that and that and that, and then that and that. That's good. I'll change my name. It's just easier.
They're meant, aren't they? What's their job? They're meant to slow down our enemy's capacity for cyber warfare.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, simple. Put China on BT broadband.
They said the kinds of things you have to do would get you arrested in the real world, they were saying. But correct me if I'm wrong, that's also true of regular soldiers. I'm thinking specifically of shooting and so forth.
Ordinary policemen know nothing about computers. I don't know if you've been down to PC World.
Why is there extra pressure on some students to do well at university?
Oh, this is because parents can now bet on what their children are going to get. So there might be pressure to get first if that's what they bet on, but also they can kind of come to you and go, you're going to need to throw this exam. I've put the house on you getting a 2-2.
But could you do an exam under that kind of pressure?
I'd worry if the odds changed, like, you know, in football, and then Ray Winston's head would come up.
in the middle exam, and a giant... Oh, bet him play. Not now, Ray. You got that wrong. Shut up, Ray. Shut up, giant floating Ray Winston ahead. I'm trying to do an exam here.
We had a very similar thing at our school, and that was having a bet on who we thought was going to miss out on their GCSEs because they were pregnant. And everybody got it right. Sarah Pocock. So there we go. Not a real name. Not a real name.
Did you make sure of that, Andy?
There's an element of danger of insider trading there.
Quite literally insider trading.
Instead of a sports day. Instead of an exam, sports day made that more interesting. Loads of parents with, like, houses on the egg and spoon race.
Don't drop the egg! Don't drop the egg! OK, at the end of the hour, the point's going to Sean Hugh Milton! Now we play a round called Can You Smell What the Mock is Cooking? This game involves Josh and Milton, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is our stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest. OK, let's go. Let's spin the wheel. First topic is childhood. Who wants to come in on that? Josh.
I grew up in a small village in Devon, which was as fun as it sounds. Very little happened. To give you an idea, the most exciting thing that happened in my village was when I was 7. For a brief period, there was a bull in a field. And I was terrified of this bull. I used to walk past him. My dad would go, oh, don't worry about that. He's more scared of you than you are of him. And I used to think, no, he isn't, mate. Bonfire night was the worst, though, because the build-up to bonfire night was just warnings about the way it was going to go wrong. They go, oh, bonfire night's coming up. You're either going to get burnt with a sparkler or hit with a firework. My favourite was on Blue Peter every year. They'd have the same warning that applied to no one in Britain. Every year they go, oh, bonfire night's coming up, and if you do own a pet tortoise... Well, they go, if you do own a pet tortoise and it's hibernating in a box, do be careful to not absent-mindedly throw that box onto the fire. I don't know how unlikely that scenario is. So I know no one who owns a pet tortoise. Secondly, how unruly is your bonfire night getting? You go, yeah, just chuck everything on, yeah. Yeah, Guy Fawkes with a shit, show him what I think of him. Go Go into my houses, get my boxes, don't look in them, throw them on the fire. I don't care that the contents is snoring, throw it on, I told you. 2 months later, you walk around your house going, where the hell is Sheldon? The warnings there were wrong. The warning on sparklers, it'll burn your hands. That happened to no one. The warning on sparklers should be, if you're planning using a sparkler, do be aware you will do the same 3 shapes you did every other year. Zigzags, circles. Go on then, I'll write my own name. That is it every year. We used to have those home fireworks displays when they'd be terrifying. Most people were interested in health and safety. My dad didn't bother with that. He'd just go, well, you know, we've got 6 fireworks, the cat's got 9 lives, we're going to be fine. We'd be firing off fireworks towards the village like we declared war, and then the whole thing would climax with a Catherine wheel nailed to a gate failing to go off. My dad creeping up on it, us going, Dad, you're not meant to go back to a lit firework. Him going, don't worry about that, it's more scared of me than I am of it, it'll be fine.
Thank you very much, Josh Widdicombe.
OK, so Milton is left. Let's see what topic he has. Let's spin the wheel. Now, the topic is travel. Where you go?
Strange things do happen. Once, I saw a little green man, and I walked towards him, and he just disappeared, and then I got run over. Kuala Lumpur, that was a bit of a disappointment. I always thought it was a bear crossed with an Oompa Loompa. You know, clingy, but quite hard-working. I was in France recently. I saw this little old lady knitting in the town square. I said, voulez-vous crochet avec moi? She took it all the wrong way. What with the financial situation, I'm not sure Ireland's going to stay afloat. Cork, maybe. 11 days it takes to walk to Torquay holding the hand of a 7-year-old. Well, that's what I thought. It was his birthday treat, but turns out he actually wanted a walkie-talkie. I'm very English, really. I even ordered a book on the internet, How to Have Absolutely Nothing to Do with Your Neighbours. Unfortunately, I was out when it was delivered.
Well done. Thank you very much. Points there. Go to Milton. Come on back.
Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Sean, which category would you like?
Go for environment.
Environment it is. The answer is 95%. What is the question?
Is it the percentage of a Domino's pizza left before I think, what am I doing with my life?
If somebody tells me that Mark Darcy has been killed off for the next Bridget Jones book, what are the chances that I don't give a shit?
Does it express 19/20ths as a fraction?
That's not a fraction.
38. Oh, the other way around. No.
How much of Peter Crouch is limbs?
Is it what proportion of accidents in hand grenade shops are caused by assistants saying, can I have your pin, please?
What percentage of Hawaii's income is made by Milton buying shirts?
Is it express 19/20ths as a percentage?
Is it, if I send a text on the new iPhone, how much battery will it drain?
Is it, how sure am I, Merry Christmas, that this answer will end up in the Christmas compilation?
Is it express 76/80ths as... That's whatever they're called.
Is it, what are the chances I'm going to shove Miles' abacus up his arse?
Is it, what are the chances Richard Dawkins will be turned away from heaven?
Is it what rating does Paradise currently have on TripAdvisor?
Is it what looks like one neighbour talking to another neighbour over the fence about the two big numbers in his garden?
Okay, I'm going to have to move you towards, if I possibly can, towards the correct answer.
Is it what are the chances that humans created climate change?
That's absolutely right. Very, very good. Thank you very much. Well done. Josh.
Really enjoyable.
Let's give the exact answer before people start writing in. The question I was looking for is, according to a major new UN report on climate change, how certain are scientists that mankind is to blame for global warming? This is the news that the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change has published a report concluding that they are 95% certain that since 1950 mankind have been the dominant cause of climate change.
It's a disappointing statistic, though, isn't it? It's like when you see on a condom packet, these are 99% successful, you know, and you think, well, what happens if you make love 100 times? You know, you're thinking, maybe I need to
Well,
keep
Andy,
count.
someone knocks on your door and gives you a prize.
Are you trying to say that I'm still in the 90s?
It's merely gossip, I'm sure.
Yes, but there's obviously people who won't. It doesn't matter how many reports.
They say sea levels are going to rise, but that's very difficult to check. Because they're constantly kind of doing that.
Yeah, but the ground isn't, Josh. You've
No,
noticed that. There's a fairly easy kind of... Like, if you look at the edge of, like, a harbour, there's, like, a wall that gets wet and then dries and then gets wet again. That's...
Yeah, but they're up and down, Dara. They're going up and down all the time.
But they can just measure the highest bit and wait a while and see if it gets higher the next day.
That's why you're a scientist and
They are worried about sea level rising, aren't they? Because
Yes,
apparently East Anglia, if it goes more than about 2 metres, the whole thing is going to go underwater. And currently in East Anglia, they're complaining about all these wind turbines are going to spoil the view. You're thinking, not as much as 2 billion gallons of seawater. They'll be grateful for the wind turbines, then, won't they? Because they'll be one of the few things above sea level that they can bloody cling on to.
I want the wind turbine! I didn't think this plan through!
What's the other 5% that might be to blame?
No. It's there is still a 5% chance that it will be.
It's not like
just...
squirrels or something.
It isn't. That other animals have been farting out the CO2.
I was just going to ask Miles what the chances are of it not being called
as a fraction.
As a fraction. Yeah, as a
yes.
fraction. What would that be?
Oh, you're looking at, 7/20 or something like that? I'll be honest, I was quite surprised when you got to the end of that question and it was directed at me, and I may not have listened to some of the words involved in the sentence before my name came up, but I suddenly realised you were looking at me. This keeps happening on this show. You're all talking about, God knows what. I look up and my dear colleagues are expecting me to join in.
Have you put a bet on yourself to throw Mock the Week?
So what plans are there to possibly counteract this? If this is the case, what's the plans to counteract
a cooling off period.
What, would you tell everyone just to calm down for a while?
Yeah. In my experience, these things sort themselves out.
And the mirror, have you seen the mirror in space?
A mirror in space?
You build a mirror in space that would deflect sunlight, because the sun is the thing which is constantly going to keep overheating. So you deflect the sunlight away.
Will it face us as well? Will it be double-sided?
What, will you be able to look at yourself in the space mirror?
Yeah, you'll be going out and you go, is my hair all right? Yeah, good, let's go.
Good to go. OK.
And if you break the mirror, it's 1 billion years.
I hope it's like in small squares, so it's like a mirror ball. So that it spins in space.
Ball.
A disco ball. Giant. What did Tesco supermarket withdraw from sale recently?
The doll of a gay best friend.
Yes, it was a doll of a gay best friend.
There it is. It's not particularly realistic.
It's a third-party seller. So this is the problem with their website open to third-party sellers, but it was removed. The description of the product, I said, if Sex and the City and Will & Grace have taught us anything, it's that gay best friends are in this season.
It said that, didn't it? It said it loves shopping, loves dancing, and it'll tell you how big your bum is.
This, incidentally.
There we go. Dara's got a best friend, everybody.
Finally. Why can't I find a fella? I know. You're the same. Oh. We just sit in and watch the DVDs
It's
together.
not offensive, is it, really, in any sense?
I mean, I think the gay community, right, they'll be less offended that it's a gay best friend, right? They'll be more offended that any gay person might dress that badly, wouldn't it?
Look at that. Are those boots in right now?
I think you ought to look at the hair on the back of his head.
Yeah.
That is the weirdest thing.
It's his hairy ears I'm particularly impressed by. Yeah. I have never known the gays. I mean, these are people who, like, wax, back, sack, crack, the whole thing, right?
Not ears.
With the ears.
Yeah.
The ears? I didn't know there was a thing in the gay community.
While we're drawing attention to things that are not realistic about it, I think it's too small.
That's... And please, don't use my head as a sense of scale. That can be confusing.
At the moment, the gay best friend thinks that Ray Winston's going to give him some odds.
Bet him play. Respectable gay man. Odds have changed all the time.
So did you manage to buy one before it was removed from sale? Is that how you...
Yes, I bought one, then complained, so no one else can have it. He's my best friend and not yours. What's that? I know. Such a bitch.
I think if you had a UKIP supporter drowning, chuck that at him. This will save you. Here's Kevin. No! I don't know what to do. I'm confused.
Okay. At the end of that round, the points go to Moz, Josh and Andy. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, please. I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely small lads.
Do you want a larger penis? Beach volleyball tonight on BBC One.
For sale, 400 jars of mayonnaise would suit the sort of person who's not that fussed by best before end dates.
For sale, 1 pack of Polos, unopened. Mint condition.
Sperm donors wanted. Please come quickly.
For sale, horse would make excellent pet. Or pate.
Wanted. Someone to kill my dad, so I have an X Factor backstory.
Lost. Boomerang. Last Thursday. Somewhere... Oh, no, it's coming back to me now.
For sale, dwarf jacuzzi. Could also be used as a foot spa.
For vasectomies, liposuction and all small cosmetic operations, call Phil, the overambitious tree surgeon.
Cleaning lady. £8 per hour. Or until lady is clean.
Wanted. Spessing lessons.
Do you want your house to smell nice and spice up your sex life? Then why not try Glade butt plugins?
Goodbye, Dad. Rest in peace. And perhaps if you hadn't gambled away all our money, this would be in obituaries.
Wanted. New subject for scenes we'd like to see.
The next topic is unlikely things to hear on Crime Watch.
The police have said it's OK for the public to approach the gunman as he's sawn off the wrong end of the shotgun.
Hopkins has committed various food hygiene offences and there is now a bounty on his head.
And now a case of Grand Theft Auto. Someone has stolen the case of my Grand Theft Auto.
The victim was marched to the cash point and made to take out £300. That's the last time he forgets his wife's birthday.
Good night, and remember, don't shave white bears. No, that's not it.
We believe the occult to be involved in this crime. This is the victim's phone, and the last number is 666. Hang on, it's upside down.
Were you at Wait? Oh, fuck that. Were you at Yates? Oh my God, that's a different.
Yes.
Walk back in.
Were you in Weatherspoons? Do that one again in a minute, I think.
A computer fraudster this week got away with 9 million Nectar points. Police are looking for a disappointed man with one new wine glass.
Well, that's all we've got time for on Crime Watch. We've talked about some serious things, but don't forget, don't have...
Sometimes victims of crime don't even know they've been robbed because they use the items taken so infrequently. Take Dara O'Brien. Burglars stole his legs 6 months ago.
Were you at Yates's Wine Lodge? Unbelievable. Genuinely unbelievable.
Were you at Yates's Wine Lodge? I don't bloody believe it! I can't believe my bloody eyes!
More info on that post office robbery. They charged me £4.50 to send a parcel second class.
No. This afternoon, £10,000 worth of cocaine was stolen. Can whoever took it put it back in my dressing room?
Yeah, no, I don't know who took it. Yeah. No, I don't.
Well, we hope that reconstruction jogged a few memories. If not, well, we've needlessly shot 4 more people.
OK, the end of that round, the Popular Miles, Josh and Andy. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Andy Parsons, Josh Whittaker and Miles Jupp. Commiserations to Sean Walsh-Hughes and Milton Jones. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night.
Going back to his stand-up roots, Dara's on stage in Edinburgh. Watch Crack Dealer on the BBC iPlayer. And fresh from the Edinburgh Fringe, press red now for a showcase of the best up-and-coming comic talent. Newsnight Next has an exclusive report on the surveillance of the internet by the intelligence services.